Alright, welcome to probably the last video in the series, for real this time. Unless I think of something else along the way, but this should be the final one. Now we're going to look at crossweight, which is a very important adjustment. And it's not directly adjustable here. You got to adjust it using other means, such as the sway bar preload front or rear, which as we see will adjust the amount. And the same thing happens on the bottom, or on the back one. But you also can adjust the crossweight using ride heights. So for instance, if we raise the right side shock collar, it drops the crossweight. Or left, if we raise the left side ride height, it lowers the crossweight. And conversely, if we raise the right side, it increases the crossweight. And so on. Same thing's going to go for the rear as a general rule. We ain't going to be able to actually, well, we can get it to where we're going to see the change happen. So if we raise the left rear ride height slightly, we add crossweight, or it's called wedge. And if we take it out, it drops it. So if we lower the car on the left rear, it takes wedge out of the car. If we raise it, it adds wedge to the car. Now on the right rear, it's going to do exactly what I'm expecting. Yep, raising the ride height on the right rear of the car takes wedge out of the car, and lowering the ride height on the right side of the car adds wedge. So how does wedge affect the car? Well, wedge basically determines how much weight goes to each wheel of the car while the car is standing still. And it's also called tweak. And the higher the cross weight in general, the tighter the car is going to be overall. Where the lower the cross weight or less wedge you have in the car, the looser the car is going to be overall. So for example, we'll just do a quick adjustment here. We'll make this, we'll take it down to as low as we can get it here. Well, actually, we'll adjust it using the preloads. So we're going to drop our cross weight. We were at 62, and right now we're at 60. This should loosen the car up. And we'll go out and give a quick drive just to see. And it should be looser overall. And it should take weight off of that right front tire and move the weight from the right front tire to the right rear tire, which will affect the tire wear. It started to spin on me here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back and we're going to put wedge into it. We were at 62, so we're going to take some ride height out of the right front, add ride height to the left, take ride height out of the left front, add ride height to the right front, and then we're going to now we got it too high, so we can't go that high. So now we've got it as high as we can go with it. So we've added all the wedge we can. And it did not like that, so what's going on? What's off? Something's off somewhere because it's failing. Probably the... Well, that's too high. So we got to get it down to where it's at least legal. Alright, there we go, that'll work. And we got too much preload on the rear. So we're going to take that down to where it goes legal. And we're going to look at our try to tighten this thing up. Alright, that's too much. So we're at maximum amount of wedge. So we're probably the most amount of wedge that we can get into it legally quickly. So at least before a race starts. Once a race starts, you can kind of crank on the wedge all you want. And it's not going to matter as far as the legality of the car goes. So let's take her out and see if we can get her to see the difference between the two wedge adjustments. They should make the car tighter. And it does. That's why I'm hitting the wall coming out of the corner. It's too tight. Now with the lower wedge or the lower cross weight, I was actually spitting the car out coming out of the corner. But now I'm actually able to come through here wide open and she push it out towards the wall. So that's the difference between cross weight. And I just showed you a couple of different ways that you can adjust it. So we're going to go over a quick summary here of what crossweight and how we adjust crossweight. And basically, crossweight is looking at the springs. If you're using the springs and ride heights to adjust your crossweight, these two work together. So adding ride height on the right rear and the left front will lower your cross weight and loosen the car up. Adding ride height to the right front and left rear tightens the car up by increasing the cross weight or the wedge. So that's basically kind of a quick and dirty on how to adjust cross weight. And then of course also you can use your sway bars. Generally the front sway bar, the more negative you go, the more wedge is thrown into the car and it tightens up. The less you have, the looser the car is going to be. And with the rear one, as we go more negative, we'll make the cross weight drop, and more positive will make the cross weight increase. So that basically is kind of cross weight in a nutshell, and that's the two ways that you can adjust it. And that basically concludes this tutorial on the next gen garage setup. And hopefully with this information you'll be able to go out there and build your own setups or fine tune the default setups that iRacing gives you to make them fit your driving style a little better and to make the car a little bit quicker, comfortable, and easier to drive. Because the iRacing setups that they give you for each track are kind of a general basic setup, and they're not going to be perfect. You have to go in there and play around with them a little bit in the open classes in order to get the car to drive the best for you. Well, hopefully this helps you guys out. If it does, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.